Greetings and salutations, everyone. My name is Andrew Kirchhoff, and welcome to our Saturday live stream here on October the 8th, 2022. Of course, throughout the course of the next, I'd say 1 to 2, maybe 3 hours. I don't know. We'll see how long this goes. I'll be talking to you guys, answering starter sit questions for week 5 of the 2022 fantasy football season. The entire purpose of today's episode and live stream specifically is to help you guys set your lineups, give you guys more information, and give you guys more context as to why I am specifically leaning in the direction of one player over another. Of course, I have the live stream chat up to the right of me, kind of giving you guys some context as to where I am in terms of where the questions are being answered and who I'm addressing in terms of their questions. Again, do not forget to click the like button down below if you appreciate the content. And of course, be sure to subscribe if you have not yet already. If you're new here, subscribing to the channel allows you to go ahead and absorb daily fantasy football content for the entirety of the 2022 season from this channel, all for free, trying to help you out and trying to help you win the 2022 fantasy football championship. Also, if you're going to ask a question in the chat, please, I beg of you guys, make sure you include your scoring format. I can't tell you how difficult it makes it when there's no context in terms of scoring format in order to give you accurate suggestions, because if I'm kind of sitting there and I'm answering a question for PPR, even though you play in a standard league, the answer could very much so differ based on, those kind of scoring formats and all the different intricacies that your league kind of goes through. Either way, I appreciate you guys coming out here today. Let's get into answering questions first and foremost, shall we? Let me go ahead, pop up the channel and the chat. Okay. So we're just going to scroll to the bottom and just let it roll from here. Okay. So first and foremost, I see a question that regards Amon-Ra St. Brown. So let's talk about him and the potential that he has this upcoming weekend, right? Because earlier this week during the Wednesday wide receiver video, I did mention Amon-Ra St. Brown in the context of, hey, if he's active, I want to play him. The guy's averaging 20 fantasy points per week in fantasy football. So why wouldn't we want to have him on roster? I mean, that's one of the main ideas. So if in fact he is playing against the New England Patriots this upcoming weekend, we know that DeAndre Swift is out. We know that, of course, DJ Chark is going to miss. Josh Reynolds, he has been dealing with an ankle injury, limited to practice all week long, but he's anticipated or expected to play in this offense. Josh Reynolds has been 10 plus points in half PPR 3 consecutive weeks. Of course, with Amon-Ra St. Brown coming back, that definitely helps this offense. I'm expecting him to be, an automatic start there. So if he's available for us, I'm playing him. All right. Couple other things that I wanted to mention. Maybe I should go ahead and I'll get to these donations in a bit. Again, be sure 100% to include format in terms of PPR, half PPR, non-PPR, all that kind of jazz. If you're asking a trade question in specific, as much context as you can possibly fit in the, the text, that would be extremely helpful. For example, if you're going to ask me, Andrew, hey, I'm trying to trade for a running back, I'm giving away this wide receiver. Please give me context as to what other running backs you have on roster and what other wide receivers you have on roster. Because if you're, the more information I have, the more of an overarching kind of idea of this entire team. If I can see the whole spectrum, makes it easier for me to give you the most accurate information as possible. Okay. Thank you very much. Okay. So, let's see here. Travis Etienne or Zeke full PPR. Tony Pollard right now is traveling with the team. The anticipation is that he's probably going to play against the LA Rams. As to what capacity, I don't know. He's currently dealing with an illness. So if Tony Pollard does become like a healthy scratch or something like that where they don't play him, then Zeke, either way, I think Zeke is the guy that I'm playing because I just truly can't trust Travis Etienne yet. It is in a position where Travis Etienne could very easily score a lot of points in garbage time. I just don't know if we'll get to that position of just pouring on points against that Houston Texans defense to where it's Travis Etienne running the ball for majority of the game instead of James Robinson. So as right now, I'm just going to lean towards Zeke there. Let's see here. Cam was saying Romeo Doubs, Drake London, or A.J. Dillon in a full PPR. In my opinion, it's between these two options. It's between London or Doubs. The fact that there's no Kyle Pitts, there's no Cordero Patterson, it does make it a little bit easier for that Tampa Bay Buccaneers defense to kind of key in on one singular prospect and try to lock him down, which is my main priority of concern in regards to Drake London's overall upside of potential this week. That being said, the last couple weeks, it's pretty much been only him as a receiving threat. Yes, they've had to lock down Kyle Pitts, but you just put a cornerback on him, and I think they pretty much have that settled. As of right now, I'm leaning in the direction of most likely wanting to play London, but I don't mind Doubs. As of right now, it's getting closer and closer to where Doubs and Lazard may be able to just overtake him in my rankings. But for right now, in a full PPR, I just lean towards London. because I know, like, he's the only guy that could literally catch the ball on that team. Like, there are other guys, certainly, but who else is going to get, upwards of 5, 7, 8 targets within that offense? And if Marcus Mariota does end up playing, poorly throughout the first half of that game, they're going to switch quarterbacks. And of course, the rookie Desmond Ridder is going to come in, and I expect him to look in the direction of Drake London as well. So no problems there. Doc MC says J.K. Dobbins or Raheem Mostert. So we do have confirmation that Rashad Bateman is going to be out, as well as Justice Hill. Of course, Gus Edwards, guys, if Gus Edwards is in your league and you do have an available injured reserve position that you can go ahead and throw a player in, I would suggest if it's open and you don't have anybody else filling that position, you might want to go ahead and pick up Gus Edwards and just put him in that position just for the next couple weeks, just in case, because you never know. If he comes back similar to the way he looked, prior to his ACL injury, this guy was a 5-yard per carry running back. It could very easily fill into this team and be a, outstanding fantasy prospect for a run-first Ravens offense. But as for your question, if it's J.K. Dobbins or Raheem Mostert for this week, I'm most likely leaning in the direction of just playing. Actually, you know what? There was a lot of injuries. Let me look at this real quick. Here we go. Let's pull this open. I have an injury list. I got to check because I'm fairly certain. Where's Carolina's defense? Okay, they don't have any defensive injuries. Then maybe it's San Francisco that I'm thinking about in that matchup that has a lot of defensive injuries. At this moment, I'm most likely leaning in the direction of going J.K. Dobbins. That's what I'll just suggest at this point. By the way, if for those of you guys who are asking questions, I'm going to get to donations right in a minute. If you're asking questions regarding like top 16 quarterbacks or tight ends, those will be readily available tomorrow on screen, 8 a.m. to 10 a.m. Pacific Standard Time. I will answer those questions right now if you do ask them anyway, but I'm just kind of giving you guys an idea that there will be updated rankings on screen tomorrow morning from 8 a.m. to 10 a.m. for those of you who are looking for the most up-to-date, right before kickoff kind of rankings in that regard. Thank you. Okay, so let me see here. A couple donations were sent in. Just want to address these. Jonathan Rodriguez, thank you very much. That's a big question. Algier or Gibson in a PPR? Ooh, wow. Okay, that makes it quite difficult, to be honest, because I'm thinking to myself, if they're going to play Brian Robinson and they wanted him to be the starting back from the beginning and he had a full week of practice and they're going to continue to go in that direction, is he more or less valuable than Algier? Is Gibson more or less valuable than Algier in a PPR? Algier's not going to catch any passes, that is for certain. Gibson has an opportunity to, but I don't know if he gets phased out in this offense. I'm probably going to go Algier there. Thank you. Matthew Krall says, trade DJ Moore for Romeo Doubs. I don't mind that. To be honest, at this point, I know DJ Moore is going to eventually out-target him and get a lot more, utilization in that kind of sense. But if the quality of those opportunities aren't high enough, I don't see why I want to keep DJ Moore on roster. Now, this could end up blowing up in my face, but at this current moment, I just don't see it. I think that Baker Mayfield is not a good enough quarterback, quite frankly, to sustain the value of DJ Moore rest of the season. Moving on, Jason says, half PPR, Ayuk, Metcalf, or Dobbs. Okay, so if we're picking one out of those three options, it's most likely picking, we're going to go with DK Metcalf there. So DK, then Dobbs, then Ayuk, in that order, Jason. Your following question was Montgomery or CEH. I'm playing CEH there. So if we're picking one wide receiver, one running back, that should answer your questions there, Jason. Thank you. Pepe says, Josh Jacobs or Ramondre Stevenson in a full PPR. I'd play Ramondre Stevenson this week. Thank you. RR says, thank you for all the work, brother. Cheers. Thank you. No problem. Alexander Valdez says, Ramondre Stevenson or Gabe Davis full PPR. I'd probably go Ramondre Stevenson there. Thank you. Trojan3659 says, standard flex, Gabe Davis or AJ Dillon. Standard league, if we're looking for one option between the two, I'm most likely leaning in the direction of, let's put it this way. If Isaiah McKenzie is not active tomorrow, I would play Gabe Davis without a doubt in my mind, but we're probably not going to be given that sort of information considering there's a London game tomorrow, bright and early, 6:30 a.m. PT. I think it's 9:30 a.m. Eastern Standard Time. So for those of you who are in this kind of a position, at this point, I'm just going to play Dillon there and hope for the upside of a touchdown. Eddie James says, flex PPR, Ayuk, Gallup, Pickens, Isaiah Pacheco. Love the content, man. Thank you very much. I appreciate those kinds of words, Eddie. Appreciate the donation as well. Okay, so in terms of who we're playing out of those options, they're not great options to say the very least. Let's say, for example, Eddie, if we get into a scenario where CeeDee Lamb is going to be out. Let's say it happens, right? He was questionable all week with the groin injury. Let's say, for example, it somehow, some way leads to a position where pregame warmups, he's not, good enough to go. You would play Gallup in that position. But outside of that, it's probably Ayuk. Ayuk would be my primary suggestion. Outside, the other three options just don't present enough potential value at this current moment in time. All right, M. Leasy says, need two. I need a wide receiver and a running back for the flex position. Let me go ahead and update this. Boom, let me drag this to the bottom. Okay, cool. I need a wide receiver and a running back and a flex position. Okay, so we need to fill 3 positional spots here. Okay, so let's see here, Leasy. We have A.J. Brown, we have Marquise Brown, we have Olave, we have Brandon Cooks. I mean, you already got great options there. You got Barkley, you got Mixon, you got James Robinson, Ramondre Stevenson, Breece Hall. Dude, this team is stacked. Brian Robinson. You also have... You're going to drop McKissick for Brian Robinson Jr. Okay, yeah, that's fine. You're good to go there. In terms of who we're starting this week, though, if you need 2 wide receivers, running backs in a singular flex, Barkley, oh, man. Okay, so Barkley has to play, followed up by James Robinson has to play. So those are your 2 starting running backs. As for the wide receiver position, you got to play A.J. Brown, you got to play Marquise Brown. And then for the flex position, it's a PPR scoring format. Oh man, am I not going to play Mixon? No, I have to play Mixon, even in the matchup against the Baltimore. Dude, but Olave is so dang good, and you have Ramondre. Yeah, you probably just have to play Mixon there in the flex. So you go Barkley, Mixon, James Robinson, and then you play AJ Brown and Marquise Brown. Thank you. Kelly Appleton says standard league Duvernay or Deontay Johnson, and Wentz or Geno Smith. Ooh, that's a good question. Wentz, the only issue that I have with him is when his offensive line is not healthy, he does not look like a relevant quarterback that could get the job done. That is my biggest concern with that. So if we get into a position where, we already know that some of his offensive linemen are going to be missing this week due to injuries, and this defensive line, gets after him, we could have another one of these really poor weeks from Carson Wentz, if not just an average week. So at this point, I'm probably leaning towards Geno Smith. As for Deontay Johnson or Duvernay, in a standard format, I'm going to go with Duvernay there. Thank you. Jamar says, pretty gross options in my opinion, but I need to pick up a tight end because Pitts is out. My options are Logan Thomas, Irv Smith, Evan Ingram, Hayden Hurst, Hunter Henry. Okay, so Hayden Hurst, my biggest concern right now with him is that he was given the designation of did not practice on Friday. So yesterday he didn't practice. As to why, that is, the injury that he's been dealing with. I don't know what his status is for Sunday and whether or not he is going to play. My hope is that he does play, and my suggestion would be him. But considering we don't have a 100% guarantee that he's even going to be active for that game, I would say probably even Logan Thomas is questionable to play. I would say the next best option out of that entire group is Irv Smith. So let's hope for Hayden Hurst. Pivot to Irv Smith. That's my suggestion there. Thank you very much, Jamar. Jason says Metcalf over Dobbs, ? Lattimore isn't a scare. Listen, Lattimore does bother specific wide receivers. That's the thing. Lattimore plays well against specific wide receivers. Now, he could very easily play well against DK Metcalf. It's very possible. It's just a matter of, is DK Metcalf a good enough wide receiver to make separation and make plays? The way that offense has looked over the last couple weeks, I'm leaning in that direction. It's really hard to pivot away from DK Metcalf because we know how much high upside he has in that regard. Thank you. Daniel Chavez says A.J. Dillon or Breece Hall this week in a half PPR. I'm going Breece Hall this week. Thank you. He was questionable per se as the week progressed throughout the practices that he participated in, but on Friday got a full practice designation, so we're not worried about any of the injuries that he was dealing with. He should be good to go, and of course, he's starting back at this team going forward. Okay, thank you very much. Let me see here. Okay, so let's see. Let me scroll up before we get down to those donations. Okay, so as soon as we get here. Okay, MT and Kittle for Deontay Johnson and Bateman. I will take Michael Thomas and Kittle rest of the season. Thank you. I don't know what your tight end is. This is obviously just talking about it in a vacuum, Carlos, but I would rather have this side. Who's more droppable, Akers or Chase Edmonds? I would probably say Chase Edmonds is more droppable in my opinion. Yeah, because I know that McVay prefers Cam Akers. I don't know entirely that Mike McDaniels prefers Chase Edmonds over Raheem Mostert. I know he prefers him more in terms of the play calling aspect of down in the red zone, but outside of that, not so convinced as of yet. Drake London or Terry McLaurin? With Jahan Dotson out, Terry McLaurin does present himself as a pretty good option this week. This is what I'm thinking. I'm thinking in a full PPR, I'd rather have Terry McLaurin. And in a half PPR standard, I'd rather have Drake London. That's where I'm kind of going with right now. Because I know the reception volume is on the side of Terry McLaurin. If you think he has touchdown upside this week against Tennessee, which he very easily could, then he would obviously take over London. But the receptions in a PPR kind of give him the edge. The touchdown upside, I'm leaning towards Drake London potentially this week. So that's where I'm going there. Brandon Cooks or Jeff Wilson? I would go Brandon Cooks specifically because it's a full PPR scoring format. Again, I'm expecting probably 5 to 6 catches this week for him. Last year against Jacksonville's secondary was pretty. They played pretty well. So, and Davis Mills was in one of those contests, and he had himself a pretty good game there. Davis Mills, whenever he plays against good teams, he actually plays well. Whenever he plays against teams where he's not, when he's actually supposed to have a great game, he plays terribly. It's hilarious how he functions. He plays up to teams and plays down to teams. I don't think he even consciously does that. It's just what I've noticed. Tyler Conklin or I think this is Nick Westbrook-Ikine. This week, I'd probably go Tyler Conklin this week. I don't trust Nick Westbrook, even with Treylon Burks going to the injured reserve. I traded Lazard and JD for Ertz from Arizona. Full PPR thoughts. I'm okay with that. If you needed a tight end, I think that's a great investment. Because JD, I'm assuming, is JD McKissic. Again, he's not going to be a startable option every single week. He definitely is risky, especially with Brian Robinson coming back now. Breece Hall, J.K. Dobbins, Ramondre Stevenson, or Drake London in the flex this week. I'm potentially probably leaning towards playing Ramondre Stevenson. It's between Breece and Ramondre. Breece has a pretty tough schedule against Miami. Their front seven's really good at stopping the run, and I don't doubt that they're going to continue to be as good as they've been. I'm leaning towards Ramondre there. So I go Ramondre, I go Breece Hall, I'd go probably JK, then London in that order. Stevenson or Pierce, I'd probably go Pierce. Let's see here. DJ Moore or Isaiah McKenzie. If Isaiah McKenzie is active and he's playing and he's healthy, obviously he's concurrently in concussion protocol. The hope is that he would be cleared off that. If he is and we're good to go, I play Isaiah McKenzie this week against Steelers. Lucas says pick 2, Hall, Dillon, and Hunt. I would go with Hall and Hunt. That's my suggestion. Thank you. Non-PPR, pick 3, Eckler, Kamara, Dobbins, CEH, Jamal. I mean, you got some good running back options. Ando, I mean, that is great. At least going forward, you have so much depth at running back that you can at least kind of survive here. So if I'm picking 3 of these potential options in a non-PPR scoring format, it does make it a little bit trickier per se. So it's Eckler for sure. Even if it's a non-PPR, that doesn't really matter to me, in my opinion. If Kamara is active, I want to play him against Seattle. That's for certain. And then the only other follow-up is if I'm playing Jamal Williams or CEH. And at this point, it's most likely just rolling with Jamal Williams. So it would be Eckler, Kamara, CEH. Now, if you are in a position where you're like, here, Andrew, to be honest, I'm worried about Kamara and I don't want to even touch him, that's fine. You just swap it in for CEH and just let it ride and see what happens. Let's see here. Pick 1, Najee Harris, Curtis Samuel, Gabe Davis. Most likely going to go in the direction of Curtis Samuel in a PPR, and then Gabe Davis, then Najee Harris. Gabe Davis, again, with Dawson Knox out this week, with no Jamison Crowder, that does potentially provide a little bit more of a steady line of targets going in his direction, but I don't know if that's a 100%, I don't think it guarantees anything. That's the problem, because Gabe Davis has played 85+% of the offensive snaps in each of the last 2 weeks, yet he has seen very few targets. So even though he's on the field more often, it doesn't mean that he's going to get the targets that we're wanting him to see. So at this point, I'm still leaning towards Curtis Samuel. Coming off the illness, yes, but he did get a designation of practicing on Friday. So grants me a little bit of confidence in that regard. I'd go James Robinson over Jacobs this week in a PPR. Thank you. Fernando says, hey, Andrew, Tyler Boyd or Allen Lazard? I'd go Allen Lazard. Tyler Boyd is in a good matchup, but again, when you already have T. Higgins and Jamar Chase out there and Mixon, those are the priorities. Tyler Boyd is, next in line, of course, could always break out a huge touchdown, but it's definitely a rarer scenario than typically happening. Amari Cooper or A.J. Dillon? I go Amari Cooper this week. T. Higgins or Godwin? I go T. Higgins this week. Romeo Doubs or Brandon Cooks? That's a good one. I probably go Brandon Cooks, but Romeo Doubs is still a good option. Is it time to fire up Cade Otton? Okay, yeah, that does make a good point. So as of right now for the Tampa Bay Buccaneers, Of course, a lot of us saw that Sunday night game last week where Cameron Brate took a couple shots there. Obviously, he's not going to be playing this week. I believe it's a concussion that is holding him out. Is it a perfect time to bring him out against Atlanta? If you look at Brady's last 4 games against the Atlanta Falcons, he has been really good. Like, really good. Fantasy-wise, you want to start him, of course. That's not even a question of the matter. But is it a good time to bring out Cade Otton? He played well. I mean, he played well. He played decent last week in the opportunities that he was given. But I don't know if it's time to fire him up. Not as a top 12 tight end, but if you're desperate, you're in a deeper league, I wouldn't mind it in that regard. But as of right now, I'm kind of waiting on it. Which 2 for wide receiver 3 and flex? We have Josh Reynolds, Garrett Wilson, Adam Thielen, Tyler Higbee. Tyler Higbee has to play, in my opinion. Outside of that, I'm probably leaning in the direction of either Reynolds or Thielen. Garrett Wilson kind of has to wait and prove it to me kind of thing. Especially if, in fact, we're going to see Xavier Howard line up against him for any sort of time throughout that game. So if it's between Reynolds and Thielen this week, it's probably going to go to Thielen's side. So I go Higbee, Thielen. Let's see here. Okay. We're going to catch up. Do not worry. I need to go to the bottom of this list. I got to check out some of the donations that were sent in, answer those, and then I'll get back into the chat. Okay, so a couple more of those donations. So Black Jesus had sent in a donation. Thank you very much. I appreciate it. Says, do I flex Drake London with Kyle Pitts out or AJ Dillon or Amari Cooper? If it's me and I have to pick one of the 3, I would go with Amari Cooper this week. Mowgli says, need a flex, Marquise Hollywood Brown or Josh Jacobs. I would go Marquise Hollywood Brown. Thank you. Coco Butters says, start 2, Brian Robinson, ETN, Rashad White, Isaiah Pacheco, Rex Burkhead, half PPR. If I'm picking one of those potential options, Brian Robinson, Rashad White, okay. In a half PPR scoring format, I'm probably playing Ryan Robinson. Yeah, I'd be comfortable enough doing that. And then I'd follow that up with probably playing Travis Etienne. Thank you. Antonio Garcia says, 10 teams, full PPR. I'm 3-1 at this current moment in time. I traded Kyle Pitts for Breece Hall and Hunt. How did you do that? I don't know. Congratulations. You got out from underneath Kyle Pitts. And added Everett and Schultz at my tight end position. Should I ride with these 2 or trade for another tight end? No, I would say you're perfectly fine keeping those 2 options. As of right now, with Keenan Allen continuing to be out, Everett is going to be a solid option. And then eventually, once in fact Keenan Allen returns, we'll also see the return of Dak Prescott. Dak Prescott will elevate the value of Dalton Schultz going forward, which will kind of even it out and make you have 2 great options that eventually you may be able to trade one just straight up with another receiving option and make an upgrade there. But for as of right now, I would keep them both. You're good to go there, Antonio. Thank you. Berg sends in a donation. Thank you very much, Berg. Says, hey, Andrew, hope all is well. All is well. Thank you very much. Hope you're doing well as well. Full PPR. Out of the potential options here, should I play Allen Lazard, Josh Reynolds, Corey Davis, or Nelson Aguilar? I'm probably leaning towards Allen Lazard. I think he's just kind of continued to fit into that wide receiver 1 role for that offense, playing on the outside for majority of the time. You know, always on the field, whether it is a receiving threat or a blocking threat. That gives me more confidence that Aaron Rodgers is going to continue to send the ball in his direction. He played very well the last 3 weeks, scoring touchdowns, getting over 100 yards this last week against the New England Patriots secondary. I think he should be perfectly fine this upcoming week against the Giants. So I'm going with Lazard. The next best option out of that group is either Reynolds or Davis. Nelson Aguilar is kind of a coin flip. If Mac Jones was playing, I would consider Nelson Aguilar, but he's not. And it's Zappe there, the rookie quarterback. So as of right now, if it's between Reynolds and Corey Davis, I'm probably leaning towards going Corey Davis. Honestly, it's 50-50 enough to where I'm not 100% certain, but if Xavier Howard is out, I lean towards Corey Davis. Otherwise, I'd go Josh Reynolds there. But either way, first and foremost, play Lazard. All right, Mike says, Robert Woods, A.J. Dillon, or Jeff Wilson in the flex position this week. I'm probably thinking Jeff Wilson Jr. I love Robert Woods. Don't get me wrong. You guys know that I want to play him this week. I made him the thumbnail of yesterday's video for a reason. So I think Robert Woods is certainly a great option. I just don't know if I want to pass up on Jeff Wilson Jr. this week, especially considering Deebo Samuel's not running the ball as much as he used to. So I think Jeff Wilson's a pretty solid play there, Mike. Next best option would be Woods, though. Nathan Dennison says, would you trade up Fournette for more of a solid running back? I have Robinson from the Commanders. I have AJ and AJ for RBs. AJ is what? Aaron Jones or AJ Dillon? That's the question. Also, I have Evans and Brady. So I have 3 Tampa Bay players. Listen, if you want to go ahead and trade Fournette, I'm all for it. As to who you're going after, if you can go ahead and move Fournette and go get like Joe Mixon, fine by me. Perfectly fine by me. But those are the kind of caliber of running backs you kind of have to go after. Like if you want to trade him now and go get DeAndre Swift, I'm fine by that as well. Because once DeAndre Swift comes back, I'm ready for him to go back to being a top 8 running back, if not better, especially in a full PPR scoring format. Thank you. Let's see here. AJ Baines says, love the show, Andrew. 2 running backs, 2 wide receivers, 2 flex options for this league. I have Christian McCaffrey, I have Dobbins, I have Ramondre Stevenson, I have Debo, I have AJ Brown. Okay, we have T. Higgins as well, and Chris Olave. Holy moly, we got a squad here, don't we? I need to sit one. Okay, if you're sitting one option here in a half PPR scoring format, I'm playing Christian McCaffrey, I'm playing Ramondre Stevenson, I'm playing Debo, I'm playing AJ Brown, I'm playing T. Higgins. It's between Dobbins or Olave right now. Oh, man, Dobbins or Olave. I think I might have to bench Olave, which kind of hurts, to be honest, because I'm thinking, okay, with Andy Dalton at quarterback taking on Seattle, they should be good, right? There should be no questions there. But there were times throughout that game last week against Minnesota in London where Olave would just disappear. And that's my biggest concern. If the quarterback play from Andy Dalton is not enough to suffice and get us into the end zone to where it solidifies his fantasy value, especially in a half PPR, I'd much rather just go ahead, play J.K. Dobbins in a potential higher scoring event where he's not only getting receiving work, but he's also the primary back with no Justice Hill in the lineup this week. I'm going to probably sit Olave out of that group. Thank you. Let's see here. RJ says, hey, Andrew, you like Ramondre or Josh Jacobs tomorrow? I prefer Ramondre Stevenson tomorrow. That's my suggestion. Thank you. Andrew A says, traded Deontay Johnson / ETN for Breece Hall. That's a great trade in my opinion. Yeah, absolutely great trade. Especially considering Deontay Johnson now with the quarterback shift, the next couple weeks are going to be tough for them. So you're pretty much getting out from under that. ETN only has value as a handcuff at this point. Like something would have to happen to James Robinson in order for ETN to have any sort of presented value to himself. So I'm good with Breece Hall rest season there. My running backs are Mixon, Pierce, Hall. Okay, you're good there. And you got Brian Robinson coming back this week. You have Evans, Hollywood, Gallup, and Pickens. Yeah, you're fine. I think you're perfectly fine there. Vansky says, greetings and salutations. In a 12-team full PPR, who would you trade? J.K. and Myers for... Would I trade J.K. and Myers for Higgins? Who else do you have on your team? I have Burrow, Sutton, Devonta Smith. We have Kelsey. We have Swift, Jacobs, Dillon, J.K. Dobbins... Brian Robinson, Kenneth Walker, and we have... Okay. So am I willing to make that trade? Yes, I'm willing to make that trade. In a full PPR, I will send away J.K. Dobbins and Jacoby Myers for T. Higgins right now. Thank you. Berg says, stuck between Terry McLaurin and Allen Lazard in a start full PPR. At this point, I'm probably leaning in the direction of playing Allen Lazard. I'm pretty comfortable in the idea that Aaron Rodgers will be sending him the ball regardless. I know that everybody looks at this New York Giants matchup as a matchup where, the Giants should completely get blown out. Well, if that's going to be the case, that only helps. And if it's the opposite end of the spectrum where it's a closer matchup, then of course we're going to be able to see a lot of utilization in the passing game, especially on third down. So I'm expecting Lazard to probably be barely outproducing Terry McLaurin this week. Thank you. DJ622 says, what up, Drew? Pick 2. Mike Williams, Olave, Pierce. If I'm picking 2 out of this group of 3 players, I'm picking Dameon Pierce and I'm picking Mike Williams. Those are my 2 suggestions there, Drew. I appreciate it. Thank you. And that's for a half PPR. For those of you who are wondering, maybe you are in a similar situation or you have similar team. Anyway, before we continue, I want to thank you guys for joining us this Saturday. We've been here for about 30 minutes. We're going to be here for a little bit more, probably another hour and a half answering questions. So do not feel demoralized if you've asked a question in the chat and I haven't been able to get to it. I will be doing my very best. There's only one of me and there's a lot of you to try to answer your guys' questions. 614 of you. If you guys could do me a favor, click the like button down below. It definitely does help out the channel a lot. So in order to show appreciation in any sort of form, that would be the best way. So I do appreciate that. Thank you. All right. So we had a couple more questions here. Rockout said full PPR. Brian Robinson, Isaiah Pacheco, Craig Reynolds, or Mark Ingram. I play Brian Robinson there. Thank you. David Luna says, I have Hurts, I have Barkley, I have Henry, I have Sutton, I have Evans, Hollywood. I'm 4-0. Should I trade Hollywood Brown? If so, what position should I be looking for in terms of... Okay, so we have Barkley, Henry, Okay, so we have Barkley and Henry. That's first and foremost. If we're looking to potentially even move Hollywood Brown, because you have Sutton, Evans, Hollywood, you need a... you're going to need something else in exchange that is a pretty good value player. Like, it needs to be top tier talent. At this point, I don't think you have to trade Hollywood Brown. If you're under the idea where, like, similar to me, where you're thinking, hey, if DeAndre Hopkins comes back and he starts pulling majority of the targets, and those big, 14 target games aren't going towards Marquise Hollywood Brown, but instead they're going towards D-Hop, and you're concerned about it, yeah, let's probably try to sell him. The main question is, especially considering you're 4-0, is which team in your league needs a stud wide receiver like this, right? You got to go find a team that is struggling in your league, specifically that has a 2-2, 1-3, 0-4 record, and needs a stud wide receiver. Perhaps they had somebody else that they drafted and they have not panned out well, or they've been dealing with injuries, something of that extent. If you can go to them, pick something off their team, like I'm immediately thinking to myself, I don't know what your scoring format is, but I'm immediately thinking, if I can go ahead and trade Hollywood Brown for Joe Mixon, I would do it. Like, legitimate, straight up. Like, those are the kind of players that I want to go get. I want to go get players that I know are going to have guaranteed touches in the future, are going to be the primary goal line back, are getting third down work as a receiving threat out of their backfields, and can just very easily slip into my roster and be my flex every single week with no questions. Thank you. Let's see here. Gio has sent in a question, but Gio, there was no message attached. Let me see, Gio. What do we have here, Gio? Is there a question here? Okay, Gio followed up, said, Chris Godwin and Algier for St. Brown. Ooh, baby. That's a really good question. If St. Brown is healthy rest of the season, would I rather have him over Chris Godwin? I think it's close, but I'd probably take St. Brown. I'm okay with that. I'd make that trade. The main reason why I'm in that position, right, as of this current moment in time, even though I really do think a healthy Chris Godwin is top 12 the rest of the season, right? So is Amon-Ra St. Brown. The whole question is, who is more likely to stay healthy? Between the two, especially once we consider one is coming off of a hamstring injury and an ACL from last season, it's more or less in a position where you're probably kind of looking at just going ahead and going after Amon-Ra St. Brown. Just to point it out to y'all, just so you can see the YouTube chat, you guys can see my YouTube chat. That is exactly what you see on screen, okay? So when you see this, where it says message is held for review, when you send in like this much bricked text, I know you're trying to put in as much information as possible, but literally all you have to do, John, is just this sentence. When you spam it, it makes it so where the YouTuber can literally hide your message. I'm not an asshole. I'm not going to hide your message, but I'm just suggesting you just put it in one sentence, bro. It's not going to make a difference, you know? Like, if people keep spamming, I'll clean them out. You'll be banned. You won't be able to comment, and it'll be done. But I'm not like that. I'm perfectly fine. Just one sentence, all you need. Dobbins or Josh Reynolds, full PPR. I'd probably go with Dobbins at that point. What happened to the weekly rankings in tight ends and quarterbacks? Okay, again, I think I did comment this, or I have mentioned this multiple times. But for those of you who haven't heard the reasons as to why I stopped posting quarterback and tight end rankings, okay? The last couple Thursday games have not had good tight ends in them. So the assumption from Andrew was, hey, if there aren't good tight ends on Thursday that are going to play, why even post the Thursday tight end rankings video if, in fact, we can just go ahead and show everybody the rankings on Sunday morning like we do on screen for 2 hours straight? On top of it, even this, if you go back a couple Thursdays, right? Joe Burrow is an automatic start. 2 up prior to the concussion was an automatic start. So there was no question regarding that. But at least this week, Russell Wilson, if you're starting him, you're fine. Nobody's playing Matt Ryan, though. There isn't much of a conversation there. So I've gone ahead and I've opted to just pivoting in the direction of going ahead and just having the top 16 quarterbacks, top 16 tight ends every Sunday morning on stream, up to date, so that if you have a question, you can stop on by and get that, resolved. Andrew, Curtis Samuel or Bobby Trees this week? I'd probably go Curtis Samuel. And then, so if it's Curtis Samuel or Drake London in a full PPR, if it's a full PPR, it's probably Curtis Samuel or John. Somebody had said Duvernay or McKenzie there. If it's between the two and McKenzie's active, Tony, I'd probably go McKenzie over Boyd and Duvernay. Hey, Andrew, I started Hines and I need some help via upside. Najee, Josh Reynolds, Duvernay, PPR. I'd probably go Josh Reynolds there in a PPR. Tunyon or Hurst. If Hurst is healthy and active, I'd play him. Otherwise, because Tunyon is really a risky play. 1 target, 1 catch last week is not great numbers. Kirk or Jacobs, I'd play Christian Kirk. You guys got to remember, because Zay Jones was missing last week, it did force Christian Kirk to play on the outside a little bit more than he typically does. And that is why we saw a lot of production. Who's the other receiving option that scored 2 touchdowns? Jamal Agnew. He came in and pretty much played in that slot position where Christian Kirk succeeds in. He even, if you guys remember, if you go back to, man, what was the week? Was it week 2, week 3? There was a play where Christian Kirk lined up out of the backfield and ran just a straight vertical route towards the end zone, scored a touchdown. They did the exact same play with Agnew. Agnew was in the Christian Kirk role last week. Obviously, that wasn't anticipated, but we obviously witnessed it. Either way, going forward with Zay Jones back, Christian Kirk should be in that position where he's getting majority of those opportunities. If I'm not mistaken, Agnew ran like 10 routes and had, if I'm not mistaken, like 6 targets. Some crazy number there. Anyway, Olave, Noah Brown, and Alvin Kamara with the designation. Pick 2. Yeah, I'd play Olave and I'd play AK as of right now. Alvin Kamara. Thank you. Dobbs or Duvernay? I'd probably go Dobbs there for sure. Romeo Dobbs or Devin Singletary, half PPR, who I start. I'm probably leaning in the direction of going Devin Singletary there. Thank you. All right, a couple more donations were sent in. I'm going to get to that in just a moment. So let me go ahead, switch a couple things around here. What do we have? Okay, so we did Gio's question. So Matt, thank you very much. Matt Hartstein says, full PPR, flex 1 option. We have Najee Harris, Khalil Herbert, and Raheem Mostert. Okay, so here's my thought process. If David Montgomery is not active, you're playing Khalil Herbert. If, in fact, he is active tomorrow, I'm probably going ahead and pivot away from Khalil Herbert, and I would then, at that point, go ahead and just play Najee Harris. Thank you. Neil Patel says, Aaron Jones plus Hollywood Brown for Sutton and JT. Interesting. Should I accept this? Also, in the flex, okay, so let's see here. First and foremost, are we giving away Hollywood Brown and Aaron Jones for Sutton and Jonathan Taylor? I'm okay with that. I'll take the Jonathan Taylor side of that deal. Thank you. Sutton. Yeah, Sutton's a little bit iffy right now because Russell Wilson looks very questionable, but I'm expecting Sutton to continue to get, pretty decent amount of work going forward. So I'm not too worried about him, especially with the matchups in the schedule easing up for him. It should be fine. I mean, you got to remember, he played up against, Stephon Gilmore for a majority of that game. When you do that, it's not going to be an easy week. Should I accept? Okay, so your follow-up question here, Neil, was flex Khalil Herbert, Gabe Davis, or A.J. Dillon. I already have Aaron Jones in there. I would probably play Gabe Davis there. Thank you. Unless, of course, we do see David Montgomery not play this week. If he's deemed inactive, Khalil Herbert would take that starting spot. Otherwise, it's Gabe Davis. Let's see here. Joshua Wilkins says, I'm nervous about Christian Kirk, as I think it will be a very heavy run game. Should I flex Singletary or DK instead? If you want, you can play these other options. If you were going to play another one of these potential, I don't know what your scoring format is, Joshua. If you could do me a favor, actually, and just type in the chat what your scoring format is, that would probably help us kind of resolve this issue, and then we'll be good to go. Alex says, hey, Andrew, in a half PPR, Rachaad White, Tony Pollard, Brian Robinson. If I'm playing one, I'm playing Brian Robinson. Follow up. 1 spot left at quarterback. We have Cousins or Goff this week. Ooh, I'm probably playing Cousins this week against Chicago. Thank you. Clay C says, traded Connor and Samuel for Kamara. What you think? Assuming that's Curtis Samuel and James Conner, I'm okay with that. As long as it's not Debo. Otherwise, I'd have a panic attack. Mr. Wilkins, I am looking for your potential comment as to what exactly you're thinking, or what exactly your scoring format is, because that'll help. David says, yo, Andrew, should I sit one Lazard, Jay Williams, or Sanders? What's the scoring format? Guys, please, scoring format. It matters. Trust me, it matters. Total Chad says, yeah, bring back the Infinity Stones. Eventually. Do not worry. Eventually. I traded, okay. What does it say? Hey, Andrew, I traded Olave and ETN for Kamara and Elijah Moore. Half PPR. Is that a massive W? Yeah, that's a massive W. Yeah, You could have just traded Olave and ETN for Kamara, and I would have considered a massive W. You don't even need Elijah Moore in that regard. Yeah, I think you're pretty balanced with that. Should I start Conklin over Najee Harris because of the matchup? No, I'd still play Najee Harris there. Karras, thank you. Okay, so we're gonna pass that question. So Clay C said traded. Okay, that's fine. Okay, Anonymous said Duvernay, McKenzie, Gallup, Edmonds, McKissick. Pick 2. If I'm picking 2.5 PPR, it's Duvernay and it's McKenzie. Thank you. Esteban says, I have a couple questions. Okay, yeah, we have a couple questions. The first one is Mostert, Singletary, or Robert Woods. I play Singletary there. Follow up, Hayden Hurst or Logan Thomas. Assuming Hayden Hurst is active, I'd play him. Zeke or Romeo Doubs. I would play Romeo Doubs over Zeke. And then following up, Kirk or A-Rod. I would probably lean towards playing I was about to say Christian Kirk again. Kirk Cousins over over Aaron Rodgers. Dude, the names are starting to blend. I'd play. Let me think about this actually. But I'd rather play. Yeah, I play Kirk Cousins there. Thank you. Riley Cruz says Wentz or Stafford. I play Wentz. Legitimately, I'm not playing Stafford this week. I refuse. Okay, so there was a couple people that I wanted to see what their scoring format was. So let's see if Wilkins commented. Half PPR. Okay, cool. So in a half PPR scoring format, if you were going to play one over the other options potentially, I wouldn't mind if in fact you were 100% not going to play Christian Kirk. Let's say he wasn't even on your team. I would probably go with Singletary there. I'd say let's play Singletary. Let's let it ride. Okay, and then we're good there. We're good there. Okay, cool. Let's go ahead and close that. Moving on. Thank you very much. All right, let me get into some of these questions that are being asked in the chat before we get back to the donations. Who do we leave on? We talked about Riley going Wentz over Stafford. Actually, we got a couple more here, and then we'll get to the chat. Ashley Gomez says, what does this say? Let me move my thing to a different monitor. Okay, we're good. Okay. Says, what is it? Okay, half PPR. All right, Ashley, what do we got? We have Josh Allen. We have Devontae Adams. We have Romeo Doubs. We have Dalvin Cook. We have Jeff Wilson Jr. We have Gerald Everett. Nyheim Hines, unfortunately, yeah, did get injured. It is what it is. Okay, so you're saying sub players you think will do better, please. Okay. So you said sub payers, and I was like, sub payers? What the heck is going on? So substitute the players that you think are going to play better. Okay, Josh Allen needs to stay in there. Devontae Adams needs to stay in there. Do I play any of these bench options over Romeo Doubs? No, I do not. So I leave Romeo Doubs in there. Dalvin Cook has to play. Jeff Wilson has to play. Your only other option at running back would be Carter or Penny. I'm not interested in that. And then if we're playing a flex option, Jeff Wilson Jr., does he start over these other options? You're fine there. Gerald Everett does get a play over Conklin. You're fine, Ashley. Your roster's good to go. Thank you. Terry R says trade St. Brown for London, Breece, or Stevenson. St. Brown for London and Breece? I don't know what the rest of your roster looks like. If we're talking about in a vacuum, I would say yes. Give me London and give me Breece Hall. But I don't know what the rest of your team looks like. I don't know how many teams. I don't know what your scoring format is. But in a vacuum, I take the Breece Hall side of that. Mike Koch says, hey, brother, can you pick 2 for my full PPR flex? Woods, Wilson, Devonta Smith, Zay Jones, Cooks, or London? Wow. Okay, so Brandon Cooks is playing. And then we're probably following it up with either Devonta Smith or Drake London out of the bunch. If I'm picking one of those 2 options in a full PPR, I'm beginning to like Devonta Smith more and more as the week progresses here. Let me think what I want to do with Drake London in a full PPR. Okay, conventional wisdom would say let's go play Drake London over Devonta Smith because there may be more target opportunity. But in my opinion, I'm probably leaning towards just playing in a full PPR, Brandon Cooks and Devonta Smith. Thank you, Mike. Okay, Sakuda says 12 team, 4-point PPR. Are you okay? Interesting. I think you meant full point and you put 4. Either way, flex Alvin Kamara, Drake London, or Chris Godwin. Good question. Let's say for example it is a 4-point PPR. Let's say for example it is. Okay, I'd play Godwin there. Otherwise, if it's a regular PPR, I'm playing Alvin Kamara. Corey Hoover says PPR. Do I play Ramondre, Mostert, or AJ Dillon? I play Ramondre. Thank you very much. Anthony Ramos says full PPR, tight end Hurst or Disley. If Hurst is active, I'm playing him. Follow up, start 2 of these. Gabe Davis, Okay, of the available options you mentioned there, Anthony, I'm playing Gabe Davis and I'm playing Brandon Cooks. And then we have Chris Vasquez saying half PPR, Curtis Samuel, DK Metcalf, Ramondre Stevenson, pick 2. If I'm picking 2 of those options, it's DK Metcalf and it's Ramondre Stevenson. And then we have Anthony Barrett with a question said Kareem Hunt or Devin Singletary. Man. I want to play Devin Singletary out of that 2-man option there in a PPR league. James Newton says, would you start Dalvin Cook or AJ Brown at the flex position? If it's a full PPR scoring format, Dalvin Cook this week against Chicago Bears or AJ Brown against the... I'd probably play AJ Brown this week. Thank you. All right. Let me get to answering some of these more questions. Okay, here we go. Amon-Ra St. Brown or Gabe Davis? I would play Amon-Ra St. Brown. Hey, Andrew, Dobbins or Pierce rest of the season? Good question. I'd probably lean in the direction of going with Pierce rest of the season. Half PPR Ertz versus... Because this is what I'll tell you. If Gus Edwards comes back and he's looking good, I expect this to be a rotation of a backfield. Half PPR, Ertz versus the Cardinals, Njoku versus the Chargers, or Deontay Johnson versus the Bills start 2. I would legitimately play Ertz and Njoku. That's my suggestion there, Armando. Thank you very much. Full PP. Okay, so we did that. London or Scary Terry. I mentioned this a little bit before, Casey. I would play Scary Terry in a full PPR over Drake London. Danny Phipps, Phipps says, Najee Harris or Curtis Samuel in a half PPR. I'd probably go Curtis Samuel there. Lon says, PPR, choose 3 of the potential 5 options. Okay, Lon, here we go. We have Lamb, we have Mike Williams, we have Curtis Samuel, Devonta Smith, we have Garrett Wilson. If Lamb is active and healthy, I don't know if he's going to be fully healthy, but if he's active, I'm playing him. Mike Williams is for sure play. So those 2 are done. If it's between Curtis Samuel and Devonta Smith, it's probably playing Devonta Smith this week. Thank you. Week 5 PPR, Amari Cooper or Gabe Davis. Give me Amari Cooper. No St. Brown, bro? Says who? Where did St. Brown go? Hold up. Is he not playing? Let's see. Because last time I checked, he could play tomorrow. It's not a guarantee that he plays, but he could play. He practiced on Friday. Let's see here. What do we have? Yeah, he's still questionable. Nothing in terms of new news that has come out that says he's not potentially playing. Ramondre or Khalil Herbert? Ramondre, no question. Godwin or Olave? I would play Godwin there. Would you do AJ Brown, Kelsey, and Connor for Kupp, Mixon, and Higbee? AJ Brown, Kelsey, and Connor for Kupp, Mixon, and Higbee. AJ Brown, Kelsey, and Connor for Kupp, Mixon, Higbee. That's actually okay. It is full PPR. I'm trying to do the math on like per week fucking measurables as to what we're gonna see here. I'm mainly thinking, damn, this is actually a tough question because Higbee's a monster right now, but I don't know how much this Higbee stuff lasts. It's great for now, but I don't know if it's gonna actually, dude. I would say conventional wisdom, take the Kupp Mixon side. Let's hope for Higbee to just keep it going. Travis Etienne or Chase Edmonds? Give me Travis Etienne this week. Tyler Lockett or Gabe Davis? Give me Tyler Lockett. Ramondre Stevenson, Khalil Herbert? Give me Ramondre. CeeDee Lamb or Hollywood? If CeeDee Lamb, you had to just get hurt, huh? You just had to have a groin injury, just mess the entire week up. At this point, I would say it's probably safer to play Hollywood. Trade J-Rob and Thielen for Higgins. If you don't need running backs, then I suppose you could do that, sure. Or you can wait for this week, let James Robinson go for another 25 points, and then sell him for Jamar Chase. You know what I mean? I mean, unless you prefer Higgins, that's just up to you. Hey, Andrew, Dalvin Cook or Fournette rest of the season? I probably lean in the direction of saying, oh, man, they're both injury prone. Oh, man. If I had to pick one rest of the season, it's most likely Dalvin Cook. T-Law or Brady? Give me Brady. Jeff Wilson or Ramondre? Give me Ramondre. 6 point per passing touchdown league. Tom Brady or Lamar Jackson? Give me Lamar Jackson. Cooper, CD, Cooks, full PPR. Cooper, CD, Cooks. Give me CD. If he's playing, I want him on my team. That's just it. Breece Hall or Ramondre this week. I just broke my neck. I would probably say if we're playing, do I want to play Ramondre at that position? I'd probably at that point say let's just go Breece Hall and a half PPR. And then even in a full, I just kind of still pivot towards Breece. Thank you. All right, a couple more donations came in here. Masenko says, sell Hopkins early or keep full PPR. No, I would keep him. If your team is sustainable enough for the next couple weeks to last and be in a position where you can 100% continue to win games regardless of having DeAndre Hopkins on your bench, you should keep him. Otherwise, if you're in panic mode and you're trying to win now, you could sell him. Brando23 says half PPR, Garrett Wilson, Rashad Penny, Algier, Etienne, Edmonds, or pick up Rashad White for a bunch of garbage time volume, or McKenzie if healthy, thanks. If I'm picking one option out of the group, it's probably just go with, you need two of them actually. It's Penny and Wilson. Just go with Penny and Wilson. I mean, if McKenzie's active, I would feel a little bit more comfortable playing McKenzie probably over Garrett Wilson, but you'd probably have to drop somebody else off your team, which I don't know what else you have there. Okay, so this is the last donation that we just saw come in here. Let me get to that in a minute. Okay, it says Pierce or Curtis Samuel. I play Pierce this week. Murray or Goff. I play, oh man, I want to play Murray. Here's the issue, okay? The information that I have available. Rodney Hudson, their starting center, probably going to miss this game. That is concerning. Goff gets Amon-Ra St. Brown back, but he has to play against Bill Belichick defense, which is tough. So I'm leaning the direction of Murray, right? Because I'm thinking to myself, well, Murray, even if he's garbage time Murray, we're okay there. But man, the fact that this is even a close question just kind of speaks to how well the Lions are playing. If I'm not mistaken, in terms of total yards per game, the Lions are the #1 offense in the NFL. Can you imagine that? That's just insanity to me. But right now, I'd say Murray and Pierce. All right, trade J. Okay, so we did that already. Etienne or McKenzie, give me McKenzie. Full PPR, Pierce or Hall tomorrow. Pierce had 6 catches last week. I'm still going Pierce there. McLaurin or Woods, give me McLaurin. Pepperoni or sausage on the pizza tonight. Both, please. PPR, League Singletary or Najee Harris. Give me Singletary, A-Rod or Goff. I'm going A-Rod. Full PPR, Drake Leonard or Curtis Samuel. I think we talked about this. We're going Curtis Samuel this week. Cooper, CD. Yeah, we're playing CD if he's available this week. If you're worried about it, I guess the next best option would be Amari Cooper. Should I trade Pittman for Keenan Allen? ? Gabe Davis, Kamara, Godwin, or Hollywood Brown. If you can trade Pittman for Kamara or Godwin, you should do that. AJ Dillon or Breece Hall. Give me Breece Hall non-PPR. St. Brown, CEH, and Olave. I need 2. I would play St. Brown if he's active, and I would play CEH. That kind of makes it easier for you because if he's active, you go. If he's not, you play Olave and you're fine. Metcalf, Leonard, Jeff Wilson, full PPR. Give me Metcalf there. Romeo Doubs or Zay Jones. Romeo Doubs, no question about it. Jeff Wilson or Lockett, full PPR. I'd go Lockett. AJ Brown, Amon-Ra, Lamb, Godwin. If I'm picking 3 of these potential options in a full PPR scoring format, I'm probably going AJ Brown, Amon-Ra, St. Brown, and I'm playing Godwin there. I would bench Lamb legitimately because you have too many good options, and I'm not interested in playing someone who could leave the game early with a re-aggravated groin injury. Waller or Hawkinson, give me Hawkinson. Imagine 4-point PPR. Yeah, that would be absolutely insanity to me. I just saw your latest video. I'm in a 16-team PPR, and I just lost Jonathan Taylor. Do I start Isaiah Pacheco over Elijah Moore or Travis Etienne this week? I would say do not start Isaiah Pacheco. Listen, it is technically, right, it does seem like a good idea. But at this point, if I'm you, I'm probably just playing Travis Etienne there. If it's my team, I'd probably just go Etienne and just hope that Etienne gets a handoff that just breaks off for a huge run because Houston can't stop the run. You know what I mean? Adam Thielen or Romeo Doubs, give me Romeo Doubs. Devonta Smith or Brandon Cooks, give me Brandon Cooks. Full PPR, Curtis Samuel, Brandon Cooks, Rod Reynolds, if we're picking 2 out of this group, I will take Curtis Samuel and I'll take Brandon Cooks there. Thank you. Again, before we continue answering questions, I do want to remind all of you, there's about 677 of you in here. If you guys could do me a favor, could do me a solid, I'd greatly appreciate if y'all could go ahead, click the like button down below, Of course, it definitely does help the channel in terms of the algorithm, in terms of helping us continue to make content for you guys every single day for the entirety of the season. It helps grow the channel in a regard that you guys don't even understand. I don't even understand it. The algorithm is a machine learning monster that it is the god of YouTube, and we just have to pray to it, and we have to feed it likes for us to continue to get more and more success. So I'd greatly appreciate it if you guys could do me that solid. Click that like button down below. Again, do not forget tomorrow morning, of course, we do have a London game. It is between the New York Giants and the Green Bay Packers. So if in fact you have any questions regarding those players in specific, again, if you have Barkley, you're playing him. There's nobody else on the Giants that I'm interested in playing. That's just a fact. If you're playing in a 2 QB league, even with the idea of maybe rolling out Daniel Jones, I don't know if I'm too interested in that. Daniel Jones has no one to throw the ball to. David Sills and Richie James Jr. are his best options. Bellinger at tight end, not interested. So Barkley's the only option there for the Giants. As for the other side, I really like Lazard, Dobbs. I really like A.J. Dillon, Aaron Jones this week. A.J. Dillon, obviously the least amongst the group. Aaron Rodgers is a potential starting option. But hey, make sure those guys are ready to go in your lineup for tomorrow morning. But if in fact you are going to play said players, make sure that they are in your starting positions. Do not start them in your flex, because if we get to tomorrow morning and some sort of injury arises, you want to have your flex position open and available so you can switch around players in that position. So if I'm starting Aaron Jones tomorrow, for example, I'm not putting him in my flex. I'm putting him as a starting running back and putting one of those starting running backs in the flex just in case. Okay, just a heads up. Also, tomorrow morning, 8 to 10 a.m. Pacific Standard Time, we'll be live streaming here on the channel, answering questions. We've been here for an hour. We're going to try to go for another hour here, answering questions to the best of my ability. Thank you very much for supporting the channel, guys. Okay, a couple more questions were sent in. So, Chris Vasquez says, Goff or Kirk? I would play Kirk Cousins. Joshua Delgado says, love the show, non-PPR. Pick 2, Thielen, Brandon Cooks, A.J. Dillon. I would play Thielen and I would play Brandon Cooks. Oh, it's a non-PPR, you said. Ooh, okay. Brandon Cooks and Dillon in that case. Brian says PPR, pick 3, Dobbins, Dillon. We have Penny or Moore. Okay, pick 3. I would play Dobbins. I would play Moore. I would play, do I want to play Dillon over Penny in a full PPR? Yes, I would play Dillon. Dobbins, Dillon, and Moore. Thank you. Jay Gus says Jeff Wilson or James Conner in a full PPR. Oh, yikers. I'd go Jeff Wilson Jr. there. Thank you very much. Andy says, I have Singletary in a 10-team league. Finesse trades. I have Singletary, 10-team league, finessed trades. Are you asking me what trades you should make? That is my pure quick, because I don't even understand what you're referring to, my man. Tell me what you're asking me. Just explain it to me like I was 4 years old, please. That's the beautiful Michael Scott quote. Explain it to me like I was 4. Donnie Bravo says, pick 1. Wide receiver 2, Gabe Davis, Ayuk, Pickens, Dobbs. Thank you, sir. I would go with Dobbs this week. Thank you. We have Hurts and Fournette with Rachaad White for Lamar and Cook. Yeah, I'll take Lamar and Cook. That's fine. Thoughts on a speculative ad, Jameson Williams for the Lions, hidden gem? Yeah, he could very easily be. Again, like I just mentioned a little bit ago, Tyrone, the entire Lions offense has played a lot better than we anticipated, and they've had a lot of injuries. Offensive line, personnel-wise. At this point, if you add this guy to the lineup, and he's as good as he was in his senior year prior to the ACL injury, I think Jameson Williams could turn some heads and make some huge plays late in the season as long as he's active and ready to go. Yes, I did say Kirk Cousins. Shannon, perfect. Thank you for relaying that to the message. Thank you. Okay. Mike says Dallas Goedert or Darren Waller. Give me Dallas Goedert this week. Dallas Goedert for sure. What is that picture? That's what I'm wondering at this point. Clay C said, oh, what the heck happened to Clay's question? Clay, 4th and 1, win the game. Run or throw. Listen, I myself, when I was watching that Thursday night game, as soon as it went into overtime, I was like, all right, this is about to be an absolute mess. The fact that they did not run the ball on 4th and 1 does not surprise me, okay? But my biggest issue is, why doesn't Russell Wilson utilize his legs more? he has so much mobility in comparison to other quarterbacks. Sure, he's not Jalen Hurts. He's not Lamar Jackson. We know that. He's not Kyler Murray. But he's still got the ability to move out of the pocket. I just don't get it. I mean, anyway. Moving on. A couple more questions sent in here after Clay. Brett Wood. But yes, I'm a former offensive and defensive lineman, okay? I would absolutely run the ball in this scenario. 150%. If I was play calling there, everything would be run related. Brett Wood would say full PPR, Curtis Samuel, Kirk. Yeah. If it's my choice and it's my team here, Brett, I would go with Brandon Cooks and Christian Kirk. Thank you. Look at the other message I sent, says Andy. Aha. Thank you, Andy. That's what I was wondering. I was like, bro, what are you talking about? Let me find it, Andy. Give me a second here. So let's see here. F3 function. Let's look up Andy. All right, so let's go up the list here. Wait, where is your past message? Okay, now I gotta look it up here then, I guess. You know what the problem is, Andy? I cannot scroll back to your last message. So tell me what that message was as well on top of it now. Okay, so we did Brett Wood's question. Moving on. Let's see here. There was a new question. Colin Smith. All right, Colin. Let's see here. Full PPR. I have one running back. I have one flex. I have Breece Hall. I have Kareem Hunt. I have Devonta Smith. I feel like Hunt could have a big game this week. I agree. If he falls into the end zone, which he very easily could, he could very easily be a 15-point player this week. If we're playing one running back out of the bunch, though, I'm playing Breece Hall for certain, especially considering it's a full PPR scoring format. If it's between Devonta Smith and Kareem Hunt, my biggest issue is I know that Devonta Smith, because of the PPR format, could very easily get himself 6 catches for 60 yards. That is a given. 12 points. Are you okay with the idea of playing Kareem Hunt and only getting 8 points? Yeah, probably. I think there's always the potential upside of Devonta Smith scoring. Okay, let's say, for example, if we're risking Devonta Smith's 12 points for 8 points from Kareem Hunt, and then Kareem Hunt has the potential of scoring himself 15, but, you know, Devonta Smith has a potential. I mean, at that point, if we're looking at just base potential, Devonta Smith probably gets the play. But touchdown upside probably leans in the direction of Kareem Hunt. So if you're looking for that touchdown upside, Kareem Hunt's the play. If you're looking for just the safer play overall, which I'm suggesting, it'd probably be Devonta Smith in a full PPR there. I play Ramondre over AJ Dillon. Let's see here. Najee or Penny? I would good question. Actually gonna make my brain melt. Noe. What are we gonna do with Najee Harris, huh? I'd probably play Rashad Penny there. Chris says, would you start full PPR? Lamb, Olave, Mike Williams, Mixon, Pierce, Stevenson. Who do I start? I don't know how many positions do you have? 2 running backs, 2 wide receivers, 2 flex? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7 players. Okay. So if we're starting 2 wide receivers, it's Mike Williams and Lamb. If we're starting 2 running backs, it's Mixon and Pierce. And I'm starting Stevenson in the flex. Done. Good to go. Dobbs or Juju? Dobbs. Come on. What are we talking about here, guys? Come on. Come on. I'd go Woods over Thielen. Woods over Thielen. All right. Couple more questions here. Lay says, wait, okay, yeah. Hold up. Mike sent in another question. Let's get to, okay, so did Austin. Okay, so we did Colin. So we go down to Austin now. Pierce, Najee, Jeff Wilson. Do I do Najee and put him in the flex and bench Cooks? No, I wouldn't. If I'm picking between these 3 options, I would play Pierce. But if you're asking if you can bench Cooks for Najee Harris, I'd play Brandon Cooks over Najee Harris this week. Thank you. Mike Chills says Najee Harris or Lazard. Give me Lazard. Lay says half PPR, 12 team, pick 2 without knowing all the players. What would you do with these wide receivers in the future? Tyreek Hill, Deontay Johnson, Myers, Garrett Wilson, Corey Davis. I would probably try to trade away Myers, Deontay Johnson, and Corey Davis at the nearest sign of them having good games. I would try to go probably buy low on Gabe Davis. I'd probably look for other wide receiver options that I could buy low on, like Keenan Allen, just to get these guys off my team, because I don't really want to have Myers or Deontay in a half PPR anymore because their touchdown upside is not really there. Thank you. Khalil Herbert or Jeff Wilson? Give me Jeff Wilson. Ayuk or Noah Brown if CeeDee Lamb is out. If CeeDee Lamb's out, give me Noah Brown. If Sanders, Knox, and Brady Worth for Hurts and Waller. Sanders, Knox is injured, so that doesn't really bother me. Brady and Sanders for Hurts and Waller. Sanders is my RB4. I'm okay with that then. Make the trade. Cortland Sutton or Christian Kirk rest of season. I'd rather have Cortland Sutton rest of season. Next week, probably next Thursday, guys, I will have a rest of season rankings video out, okay? So next Thursday, you can account for that. Week 6, rest of season rankings will be available. That way we have a little bit of indication as to where I preferred some of these players. And then we'll subsequently, probably like 5 weeks after that, around week 10 or 11, we'll have another one of those rest season kind of things before trade deadline, stuff like that. But yeah, keep that in mind. Manny says, Herbert or Dobbs, full PPR? Give me Dobbs. If in fact there is no David Montgomery, okay, there is no David Montgomery, I'd probably go Khalil Herbert. Just putting it out there. But I don't think that's going to happen. I think Khalil Herbert's probably going to play tomorrow. I mean, Montgomery's going to probably play tomorrow, which is going to hurt Khalil Herbert, which therefore you have to... Okay, now here's the thing. Here we go. Now my brain is kind of ascended. You have to play Dobbs. Regardless, you have to play Dobbs because you will not know if David Montgomery is playing because that Green Bay game is at 6:30 a.m. It is in London, so you have to play Dobbs in the full PPR. Never mind. Keep it moving. Is Chase droppable? Yeah, I would say that Jamar Chase. Yikes. I would say that Chase Edmonds is droppable, guys. Oh my God, my brain is frying. It's the lights, man. I'm telling you, it's the lights. The lights are just absolutely cooking me. It's like I'm in a tanning bed and I'm just getting smoked on by these just absolute white lights. Let's see here. Where are we at? Okay, a couple more questions that were sent in. So who did we answer? We got Austin Edwards' question. We got Mike Chills. We got Lay. We got Manny. We got someone. Okay, so Manny again. Dobbs, you have to probably roll with him. Yeah. And it's not a bad idea. I think it's a fantastic play. Don't get me wrong. It's just you don't have the privilege of being able to wait and know if Montgomery's going to be active. So you just play Dobbs and you're good to go there. Someone says, I traded Kittle and Lockett for Pittman and Bateman. Okay. I don't know what the rest of your tight end looks like, but I would rather go and trade for Kittle right now rather than the opposite. Tony says, that's Tony, like literally T-O-E and then K-N-E-E. Tony. All right, Tony. Says full PPR, Breece Hall or J.K. Dobbins this week. I would play Breece Hall this week. Clay C says ride in Beast Mode's car or Alvin Kamara's elevator. Yo. Listen, oh my God, that is actually a really good question. If you ride in Alvin Kamara's elevator, you might get, you know what? Innocent until proven guilty. Let's just put it that way, okay? We're not going to make any comments on the matter. John Wick says full PPR, Thielen or Romeo Dobbs. I play Romeo Dobbs there, John Wick. Thank you very much. Max sent in the question. Max, let me get to your question real quick here. Alvin Kamara's elevator. Yo, goodness gracious. All right, Andy, I'm going to get to your question in just a second, my man. Max said, would you play running back and wide receiver for the same team, Fournette and Mike Evans? Yes, I would. I need a super flex, Olave, Carson Wentz, or pick another quarterback, Geno Bridgewater. I would much probably rather play Geno Smith this week in your super flex position. Thank you. But yeah, I'm very comfortable playing Mike Evans and Fournette in the same team. No problem. Okay, so I need to get to Andy's question. So Andy, let me get to that right now. So Andy, we already have your name ready to go, my man. So okay, so he said it was a trade of Amon-Ra St. Brown and Pickens for Aaron Jones. Wide receivers are Kupp, Sutton, Olave, Gabe Davis. My wide running backs are Jonathan Taylor, Joe Mixon, Jamal Williams, Steven Singletary, half PPR. I finessed a bunch of trades in this 10-team league. I mean, the fact that you have Kupp and Jonathan Taylor and Mixon, dude, yeah, you definitely did finesse in a lot of these trades. My goodness, wow, jeez, man, holy moly. Okay, going down the list, I saw a question. Let's close this out. Otton or Taysom Hill? Give me Otton this week. Thielen or Davis? I'd rather play Thielen. I drafted Najee Harris, Pitts, ETN, and Bateman. Jeez, man. This right here, Mr. Beast, or Mr. the Best, Mr. Beast, imagine. Mr. the Best 24/7. Here's the thing, okay? That right there, okay? What you are describing, okay? The team that you drafted, that literally is the reason why you should play in more fantasy leagues. That's it, purely. You should go ahead and play in more fantasy leagues. That's all I gotta say. Tell your team, tell your league mates, hey, yo, why don't we just play in 2 leagues, or go join a dynasty league, or go join another league that is out there. Whether it's like a bunch of these websites have you get buy in for leagues. There is a way to go ahead and mitigate that, because if you have only one team and that is the one team you drafted this year, the whole season's ruined for me. I'm disgusted. You know what I mean? I wouldn't be able to watch football anymore. It would hurt too much. That's why I play with that's why I have 13 leagues, and that's a different conversation. But like, I make it so where I diversify so that no matter what, we're good to go. Let's see here. Mike Evans or Mike Williams? Mike Evans, 100%. Fournette or Mike Williams in a PPR this week? I'd probably go with Fournette this week. Who does Mike Williams play against? They play against Cleveland. Oh, man, Mike Williams. Okay, you know what? Where's my full PPR rankings? Well, wait 1 second. Full PPR. Who do I actually have higher? Because I'll tell you right now who I had on Thursday as the higher ranked player. Obviously, I need to update my rankings for tomorrow. I have Mike Williams. Let me go to my flex. Okay, so here we go. Where is Fournette? Fournette is there. And where's Mike Williams? Mike Williams is higher than him. I have Mike Williams with my number 26, and Fournette is my number 29 in a full PPR. So you play Mike Williams there. That's why I always look towards my rankings, guys, because the prior Andrew who sat down for 4 hours straight and broke down rankings, that is the one that I trust more than the guy that is just coming off of 2.5 hours of straight brain rot, because I'm just answering questions at the fastest possible rate that I can. Let's see here. DJ says, Drew, how much of a dono to completely shave you? Clean shaven? How much? Dude, it's listen. We're talking 5 figures minimum, okay? We're talking, we're talking 20 grand. You know what I mean? It's gotta be a sizable, you gotta pay for something, right? It's gotta make a big difference. This thing hasn't come off my face in a lot of time. But hey, listen, if we can get to 100K subs, I'll consider it. How about that? How about an actual reachable goal? All you guys sitting over here, and you're like, you know what? I'd actually like to see Andrew live on stream shave his beard completely off. Completely. Right? You want to see that? Get us to 100K subs, guys. That's all I got to ask for. That's it. You know what I mean? Everett or Kittle this week? I'd probably say Everett. Kirk Cousins or Kyler? I have Kirk Cousins higher this week. Gabe Davis or Romeo Doubs? Romeo Doubs. Curtis Samuel, Doubs, Gabe Davis. Doubs is probably the highest ranked as of right now. Yeah. Damian Harris or Stevenson? I prefer Damian Harris. Everett or TJ Hawkinson? I'll take TJ Hawkinson this week. Najee Harris or Raheem Mostert? I probably still play Najee. I like Mostert, but their offensive line's banged up. They're going to have 2 starters potentially missing this week. I go Najee. Stevenson or Lamb in the flex? Steve Myers, you coming in here with the tough questions, huh? If it's a full PPR, I play Lamb. If it's a half, I play Stevenson. Somebody said something about Otton or Hurst. If Hurst is not healthy, then it makes this answer pretty easy for us, because he didn't practice on Friday. So there may be a chance he's not even active this week. So let's wait and see. Otherwise, if Hurst is active, I'm playing him. Okay. A couple questions that were sent in. Let me go ahead and scroll up. Let me see if I can find said questions. Okay, here we go. Dylan or Najee? I would play probably Dylan this week. Probably. Deontay, Hunt, Jacoby Myers in the flex. I'd play Hunt this week. Thank you. Dobbs or Juju? Yeah, we answered this, Dobbs. Okay, moving on. We had Jacob Jimenez said, Justin Herbert or Jared Goff? It's not even close as Justin Herbert. Manny R says Marquise Hollywood Brown or Dobbs tomorrow. I would play Marquise Hollywood Brown. And then we had Roy said, would you drop Stafford for Cousins? Yes, I would. Wentz or Geno from the waivers? I don't think if you want a second quarterback and you're thinking Wentz or Geno, I would say probably just pick up Geno for now. Otherwise, Cousins should be your starter going forward. Thank you. Algier or Pollard? I would play Algier this week. Njoku or Kittle? Let me look at my rankings real quick. 1 second. Half PPR, tight end. Where do we have? We have Kittle there, and then Njoku is 2 spots behind him. So I have Njoku as my number 9 tight end, while I have Kittle as my number 7. So I'd probably go Kittle there. But I do want to mention, okay, guys, David Njoku has a pretty good storied history against the LA Chargers, or maybe even the San Diego Chargers. They could have been San Diego the first time that he played against them. But anyway, every single game he's played against the Chargers in his career, the 3 games that he's participated in, he's always scored a touchdown. That does nothing in terms of analysis. But hey, maybe it gives you a little bit more confidence. I don't know. I'm throwing it out there. Just the crazy stats that I find every single week when I'm doing research for hours on end. Boyd or Pickens? Give me Boyd. Goff or A-Rod? I'm pretty sure I have. Let me check. I'm pretty sure I have Aaron Rodgers higher. Aaron Rodgers is my number 11 quarterback. Yes, he's higher overall in my rankings. Thank you. Moving on. We have Kyler or Goff. I'm going with Kyler this week. Geno or waiver? Geno or waiver? 14 team? What does waiver mean? I just played Geno. No, that's not enough subs for the beard. It's not enough subs for the beard. You're telling me 30K subs is not enough? You know how long it would take to get 30K subs? It would take a very long time. It would probably take another year. Legitimately. Another year of this channel, we can get there. But at that point, the expiration date on that beard trim is gone, right? This is like hey, let's get 100K within the next 10 hours here, and we'll do it, But that's a different conversation. Someone's got to call actual Mr. Beast and tell him, hey, stabilize the army and get him going. Pineapple on pizza? David, yeah, I don't mind it. Listen, dude, at this point, look at me, okay? Anything on a pizza is perfectly. You put marshmallows on a damn pizza, I'll eat it, okay? At this point, it obviously needs to make sense to an extent. You can't put chocolate on a pizza, right? But I have had pineapple on pizza, and it's okay, Am I going out of my way to make sure that's the pizza of choice? Absolutely not. No, not even close. No, thank you. But if it's there and there's nothing else to eat, of course Andrew's going to eat it. I mean, what are we talking about, guys? Come on. Hollywood or Cooper? Give me Hollywood. Curtis Samuel or Khalil Herbert? Again, if in fact Montgomery is out, give me Khalil Herbert. If Montgomery is active, I would take Curtis Samuel. Hey, Andrew, would you Aaron Jones and Kittle for Stevenson and Andrews? Man, this one is the fact that this is even a tough question is kind of gives you an indication as to where I'm going. I would probably say over the course of the last couple years, right, from what we've seen from these players, conventional wisdom would say, hey, Andrew, you should probably take Aaron Jones and George Kittle because George Kittle is going to bounce back. So therefore, that's what I'm going to suggest to you. But it is tough. I'd probably just keep Aaron Jones and Kittle. Waller or Njoku? I think I have Waller 1 spot ahead of Njoku, just barely ahead. Should I be worried about Jonathan Taylor? I mean, I guess we could. He's in a walking boot. I don't know how long he's going to be out for. Curtis Samuel, Deontay Johnson, Curtis Samuel. Get a tweet for retweets and subs. I don't even know what that means. You're saying tweet it out? I'm not. Listen, dude. I don't tweet anything. You guys, if anybody follows me on Twitter, I don't tweet anything. That never has it interested me to tweet anything. Nobody cares about what I have to say. Sure, you guys have, some fantasy related questions. If I was going to post something fantasy related, sure. But in terms of my beard, nobody gives, I don't need to bother you guys by filling the timeline. Would you trade Hollywood for Breece in a half PPR? Depends on what the running backs on your team look like. If you're in desperate need of a running back, I suppose we could theoretically do that. But I feel like Hollywood Brown should garner far more of a pull than just Breece Hall. But hey, if that's the best way you can do, I'm okay with it depending on what the rest of your running backs look like. A couple more donations were sent in here. Stallions Production says Saints or Titans defense. Let me go check my defensive rankings right now. I'm fairly certain I'm not playing the Saints this week. Yeah, I have the Tennessee Titans as my number 10 this week, so I would play them over the Saints. Thank you. Following question. We have a follow-up here with another question from Justin. Justin says, full PPR, wide receiver 2, pick 1. We have Brandon Cooks, we have Drake London, we have Elijah Moore, we have Garrett Wilson, we have Adam Thielen. I am playing Brandon Cooks out of the bunch there if I'm picking just a wide receiver 2. So that's my suggestion there, Justin. Thank you. Begbert23, let me see if you had a question. because there was a couple donations you sent in, but there wasn't a message attached to it. So Beg, let me check this out. Start Pickett, Geno, or Mariota as my quarterback 2. I'm playing Geno Smith there as your quarterback 2 very confidently, in fact, because I do not trust Kenny Pickett and I do not trust Marcus Mariota right now. So Geno Smith is the play there. Thank you. Manny R. Let's see here, Manny. Where are we at, my man? Manny, where art thou? Okay, says drop ETN for Brian Robinson. Ooh, baby. If you're in need of a running back that you can play rest of the season, yes, let's do it. I think at this point, the way that James Robinson looks, I think I'm perfectly fine making this swap. Terry McLaurin or Gabriel Davis, non-PPR. I probably still go Terry McLaurin there. Full PPR, Stevenson, Dameon Pierce, Jeff Wilson Jr., or Aaron Jones, pick 3. I go Aaron Jones, I go Dameon Pierce, I go Stevenson. I'm sitting Jeff Wilson. McLaurin or Dobbs, I'd go No, I'm playing Dobbs. Sorry. What do we got? Ooh, okay, a couple more donations here. 215 Nunu says, I played League of Legends the other day, and I played against the Nunu. Oh my god, I was playing Darius Top. Dude, I got 2 quadra kills in that game. That Nunu on the other team was 10 kills deep, and I absolutely destroyed that lobby. Anyway, Nunu says, T-Law or Aaron Rodgers this week. I would probably play Aaron Rodgers. Let me confirm. My quarterback rankings, I have Trevor Lawrence at 13. I have Aaron Rodgers at 11 right now. So I go Aaron Rodgers there. That would be my suggestion. And then Lewis says, Hines got me in a hole. I need 2 starters between Jeff Wilson Jr., Hall, Najee, and Hunt. Who should I start? Okay, so here's my suggestion, okay? If we're looking for high upside, we're playing Hunt, and we're going to play Hall. And we're going to hope that they both score 2 touchdowns, and we're going to the house. Russell Wilson on a pizza. Yo, if Russell Wilson is cooking any meal, it doesn't matter what it is. It's probably garbage right now, okay? He's not cooking anything. He's burning everything. And especially he's burning my fantasy teams, okay? The team that I have Russell Wilson on is not doing well right now, okay? And it's mainly due to him leaving me out to get completely torched every single week. All right, a couple more donations were sent in. Richie boy, let's see here. Let's see if I can find a question from you. Richie boy, let's see. Richie, if you could do me a favor and just type in the chat, it'd be greatly helpful. I can help you out there. Let's see here, Jay. Do we have another message from you, Jay? Retracted. Full PPR, Aaron Jones or Jamal Williams. Let me check my rankings. Let me confirm this. Full PPR, scroll erroneous. We have Jamal Williams 1 spot ahead of Aaron Jones. Keep it moving. Who else we have? We have Begbert 23, which we already talked. I think if I'm not mistaken, I answered a question from you. Maybe you had another one. Let's check. We did that one, and then we had, go Geno, my man. Go Geno. Russell Wilson frozen pizza. True. Actually true. Okay, dude. Okay, a couple more were sent in here. Gabe Davis or Drake London? I play Drake London. Yasin. Start 2 wide receivers in a flex with Devontae Adams. He plays. Brandon Cooks. Godwin plays. DJ Moore, Thielen, Algier, Mostert. Give me Cooks. Give me Adams. Give me Godwin. Easy there, GB. Curtis Samuel, Penny. Half PPR. I'm playing Curtis Samuel out of the bunch. Kobe Myers, Zay Jones, Josh Reynolds, Isaiah McKenzie. If Isaiah McKenzie's active, actually it's a full PPR, huh? I'd probably go Josh Reynolds, then Isaiah McKenzie in that order. Everett or Njoku, I have Everett ranked higher because Keenan Allen has officially been deemed out. Okie dokie, artichoke. Okay, so before we continue answering questions, I do want to thank you guys again for joining us. Today's about almost 600 of you in this chat. Again, tomorrow morning from 8 a.m. to 10 a.m. Pacific Standard Time here on the channel, I will be live streaming for the singular purpose of giving you all the information that I possibly can in order to make sure your lineups are set to the best possible position so I can help you win. Obviously, doing my very best to answer all the questions that are in the chat right now, but that's the reason why we live stream on Saturdays, because again, I know that there are a lot of questions on Sunday mornings that I don't get to because there's so many donations sent in that quite frankly I just cannot get to everyone. That's just the fact of the matter, okay? If there were there were more, if I could clone myself, right, and have 3 Andrews and have 3 Andrew live streams up at one singular time, I would do it. But unfortunately, we're not in this position. Couple questions I saw in the chat, specifically James Robinson or CH. I will take James Robinson this week very easily there. Would you play Dobbs over Curtis Samuel? I would play Dobbs over Curtis Samuel this week, even if Dotson is out, and he is out. Also, Wilson Eagles throw up. Yep, that makes sense. That makes sense. Josh Jacobs or Curtis Samuel? I probably roll with the running back there. Just give me Josh Jacobs. He's getting a lot of receiving work. I'm okay with that at that point. Olave or Miles Sanders? James. Let me check something real quick because I'm pretty sure the left tackle is going to be out, but I'm not too worried about that. I probably still play Olave in the full PPR there. Just to give you guys a heads up, okay? This is all the injury news that I am privy to, okay? Here we go. Let's go top to bottom. Arizona Cardinals, Matt Prater's out. So if you have Prater, get him off your team. Rondale Moore's questionable. Rodney Hudson did not practice all week long. Could be missing. That's the center for the Cardinals. Could be tough for James Conner. We'll see. Atlanta Falcons, of course, there's no Kyle Pitts, there's no Cordero Patterson this week. Baltimore, no Rashad Bateman, no Justice Hill, no Ben Cleveland. That's an offensive lineman. Buffalo, no Christian Benford. That's their starting cornerback. James Conner's out with a broken ankle. Isaiah McKenzie's questionable. Dawson Knox is out. Jake Kumaro is out. Jordan Poyer is out. As for the Carolina Panthers, no Laviska Shenault. David Montgomery's questionable for the Bears. Hayden Hurst did not practice Friday. What else information do I have? Dak Prescott's out. CeeDee Lamb's questionable with the groin. Tony Pollard traveled with the team even though he's ill. There's no DJ Chark. There's no DeAndre Swift. Amon-Ra St. Brown questionable. Josh Reynolds questionable, most likely to play. Jonah Jackson, offensive line for the Detroit Lions, most likely to play. He wasn't all pro. He was a Pro Bowler. He was a substitute Pro Bowler and got to go to the Pro Bowl because one of the starters declined to go. Moving on. Houston does not have Brevin Jordan this week or Chris Moore. That does open up more opportunities, maybe, but I just though doesn't matter to me. Zay Jones is going to play. Harrison Butker's out for another week. Foster Moreau's out. That's the backup tight end for the Raiders. Keenan Allen is out. Brian Allen and the backup offensive lineman Shelton for the Rams. So both centers, the starting center and the backup center for the Rams, are out. Fuller and Durant, secondary members of the Rams, is out. That's going to definitely help players like Lamb, potentially Gallup, potentially Noah Brown. We'll see. Who else we have here? Xavier Howard is questionable to play. Tua's out. Jalen Waddle and Tyreek Hill are both questionable to play. We'll see how that goes. Lawrence Guy, one of the defensive ends for this team, is out. Defensive tackles. Mac Jones most likely out. Jacoby Myers is questionable. Jonnu Smith is doubtful to play. What else do we have here? Breece Hall had a full practice on Friday. We're not worried about that. Michael Thomas out. Jameis Winston out. Landry did not practice on Friday. Is concerning. Could definitely help Chris Olave tomorrow morning if Landry is out. What else do we have? Kenny Galladay out. Kadarius Toney out. Tyrod Taylor is out. Cordero Flott is out. He's the secondary corner for the Green Bay Packers. So if in fact we do see, what's the kid from USC? The guy that went to USC, Adoree Jackson. Adoree Jackson will probably be on Lazard for majority of the game. And the second cornerback, who is no longer going to be active, Flott, would be on Dobbs. So Dobbs could have himself a good week here. Who else is out? Javon Kinlaw, Arik Armstead, both defensive tackles for the 49ers are out. That definitely does help Christian McCaffrey. We have Cameron Brate out, Akeem Hicks out, Logan Ryan. Russell Gage is most likely going to miss, but he's questionable to play. Treylon Burks is on the injured reserve. Zach Cunningham and Bud Dupree, two starting defenders for this defense for the Tennessee Titans, is out. Cunningham, middle linebacker, Bud Dupree, defensive end. That definitely helps kind of mitigate some of that pressure that potentially Carson Wentz will be taking. Speaking of Carson Wentz, Jahan Dotson is out. Brian Robinson's active. Okay. We went through a lot there. Okay. Hopefully any information that was, relevant was presented. Either way, that was a quick rant. Jacobs or CEH? Again, guys, tomorrow morning we're going to have rankings on screen. So questions like this from David will easily be answered. And my suggestion as of right now, David, would be go to, probably let's play Stevenson. That's the number one option of that group. Juju or Ayuk, now that Juju got hurt. Juju's not injured. He had a full practice all week long. So I'm still playing Juju. He had full participation in practice. I made sure of that, and I made sure to look at it. Matt Collins or Allen Robinson? Dude, neither. Neither, please. Neither. Listen, honestly, I'd play Allen Robinson if I had to pick one, because I do expect him to get those red zone targets. He does continue to get them every single week, so it is what it is. Okay, let's see here. 20th attempt. Mixon, Clyde Edwards, Miles Sanders. Again, questions like these will be answered tomorrow morning. So when I look at the questions that are in the chat and I know they could be answered tomorrow morning, sometimes I skip them. As for this specific case, let's look at it. If I'm picking one out of the group and I'm legitimately only playing one, I'm playing Joe Mixon tomorrow. Let's see here. Okay. Donations were sent in. Let me go ahead. Let's do this. Let me do this. Let me do this. Okay. It is probably, and I'm not even exaggerating, 80 degrees in my room right now. And you may be thinking, Andrew, that's not that hot. Trust me, underneath these lights, I'm getting toasted. So I need to turn on some sort of air conditioning or central air in the house. So let me do that real quick, Reno. Okay, so the air is on now. So I don't actually roast in here because I'm sweating just answering questions. Can you imagine that? Alrighty, here we go. So donations that were sent in. Red Ron says PPR, pick one. Algier Palmer, McKenzie, Zay Jones. Red Ron, I would play McKenzie if he's active. If he's not active, I would play Zay Jones. Thank you. Jack Turner says start two. Jeff Wilson Jr., Josh Jacobs, or Khalil Herbert. If David Montgomery is out, okay, that's the only contingency. If David Montgomery is out, I would play Herbert and Jeff Wilson. If David Montgomery is active, I would play Jacobs and Wilson. Thank you. Smooth Criminal Entertainment said, I'm 3-1. I have a 12-team full PPR league. Do I trade Aaron Jones and DJ Moore for Jonathan Taylor? Yes. Mahomes, Aker, yes. I would do the trade, yes. 215 Nunu said, I traded Brandon Cooks for Rashad Penny and DJ Moore. Good trade. I guess it depends if you need the running back. I don't really trust Rashad Penny too much, but again, hopefully he plays well. That's the only thing. You're basically buying low on prospects in hopes that they could be something going forward. Zadrian says start James Conner. He's gonna be a low end RB2 on my rankings tomorrow morning. That's for certain. Similar to the way he was earlier this week throughout our Tuesday running back video. Herbert or Romeo, full PPR. Again, it depends on who the heck is active, man. I just don't know about the David Montgomery thing. The fact that David Montgomery was limited on Thursday and Friday leads me to believe that they were most likely going to see David Montgomery play. And if that's going to be the case, you have to play Romeo Doubs there in a full PPR. Roman sends in a donation, says, could I drop Mariota for James Cook? I have Josh Allen. Yes, you can. And then also following it up, you have I need space for a kicker. Yeah, you're fine there. I think you're perfectly fine. If you need to drop a player, let me see what your team looks like here. Real quick. So who do you have here? So you have Josh Allen, Kenny Pickett, Dalvin. Okay, so you're playing in a super flex league and you want to drop Mariota for James Cook and you're going to play Kenny Pickett going forward? Yo, that's risky. I wouldn't do that. No. In my opinion, I wouldn't. And unless you're playing in like a 10-team super flex where you know you can go pick up Mariota next week, I just don't trust it as an idea. No. Joga Inc. says, flex Brandon Cooks, James Conner, or Dobbs this week. Probably Brandon Cooks. AO Royale says full PPR. Wentz, Geno, Trevor. Trevor Lawrence is my suggestion. Thank you. Richie Boy says, yay or nay, I give up Jeff Wilson Jr. and Freiermuth. In return, I get Kittle and the Niners defense. I have McCaffrey. I have Fournette. Who else do you have on your team? I have Miles Sanders. I have James Robinson. So giving up this running back doesn't hurt you too much. And then you're giving away Freiermuth with a different quarterback, and you're getting back a good defense. Yeah, I'll take the trade, actually, though. I would take the trade because eventually Elijah Mitchell is going to come back. Eli J says, would you trade McLaurin and Woods for Christian Kirk? Want to upgrade my wide receiver too, and I still have JJ and I have London. What the heck is that? Where did that even come from? Let's delete this. Remove. Okay, I actually misclicked there. Okay, moving on. A couple more questions that were sent in via donation. McLaurin and Woods for Christian Kirk. I don't know if that's. Let me look at. You have London, you have JJ, you have Ayuk, you have Myers. You're giving away a lot of depth, right? Because I'm looking at the other wide receivers you have. Myers and Ayuk, as of right now, cannot be started every week. In fact, cannot be started at all. So if you're going to give away those other options, you got to be careful of when bye weeks arise, because McLaurin and Woods would provide you more of a kind of at least balanced team, assuming injuries happen, assuming when bye weeks arise that there's going to be at least some sort of mitigation to players being missing from the lineup. But if you're comfortable with the rest of your team, I'm okay with it. I just think that they provide a way more depth to your team that you may need going forward. Eduardo M says Montgomery, Rachaad White, or Brian Robinson. If Montgomery's active, I'm playing him. If he's not, I play Brian Robinson. Bobo Beyond says half PPR Ramondre or Jamal Williams. I'm playing Jamal Williams. Eduardo M says Godwin, Amari, Garrett Wilson, Zay Jones. Okay, so Godwin for sure, Amari for sure, and yes, I'm playing Garrett Wilson over Zay Jones. Thank you. Max says Chris Olave, James Robinson, or McLaurin. Play James Robinson this week. Thank you. Let's see here. Steelers are gonna be trailing all game. Do you think Deontay could get good numbers in a high passing volume? I'm worried about that. I just don't know if he could legitimately get those kind of numbers that we want, right? Because think about it. Deontay Johnson, in order for him to be relevant in fantasy, he needs to get 10 targets. He just does, right? He needs 10 targets so he can catch 6 of them, so he can have 64 yards. That's the numbers we're looking for. If he's not able to get 10 targets going in his direction, because there's a disconnect between him and Kenny Pickett, maybe they're off in terms of synergy because they haven't practiced too much together, that would lead me to think, yeah, let's just go ahead, let's wait a week, and let's not play him, because I just don't want to risk having Deontay Johnson, similar to last week, only 4 targets, 2 catches, 11 yards, completely kill my team because of that. And he killed literally one of my teams in specific last week because of that terrible performance, which I'm regretting playing him, but I didn't know the swap was going to happen, so, I really can't blame myself too much there. Jacob, thank you very much for the kind words. Okay, so we're going to be ending the stream probably in the next 10 minutes here. I do appreciate you guys coming by. Again, Andrew's got to go do a lot of work for tomorrow morning stream. Of course, there's a lot of information that I was referring to earlier that is going to adjust the rankings. So, yes, as indecisive as I am at times, I will be going ahead and working on those rankings for a little while. There was a question, McKinnon or Huntley? Caleb Huntley will probably be my suggestion there. Let's see here. There was a couple more donations that were sent in. CP says Tannehill or Bridgewater. I played Tannehill this week. Juan Rivera says full PPR. Benched Pittman this week. Okay, congratulations. You avoided disaster. Flex Gabe Davis, Elijah Moore, David Montgomery, McKissick, or Tony Pollard. If in fact Montgomery is active, you play him. If he is not, you play Gabe Davis. Thank you. Joe Boggs says AJ Dillon or Khalil Herbert. Again, it depends on whether or not Montgomery is active. Considering you will not know if Montgomery is active because A.J. Dillon plays way before Montgomery does, you would play A.J. Dillon tomorrow morning and you just got to let it roll. You got to hope for the best. Dobbs or Godwin, you play Godwin without a doubt in my mind. Again, tomorrow morning we're going to have up-to-date rankings on screen. Higbee over Waller, 100%. CeeDee Lamb over Curtis Samuel. Everett over Njoku. Gabe Davis, Lazard, I'll take Alan Lazard. I'll probably take Devonta Smith. No, let's just take Alan Lazard for now. We'll take Alan Lazard for now. Dave Curtis has found. What does that mean? Hey, Dave. How's it going? Hope you're doing well. Brian Robinson or Travis Etienne? Honestly, I want to play Brian Robinson, but I think it's probably safer to just go with Etienne. Conklin or Fryer Muth? Let me check my rankings. I'm fairly certain I have Conklin higher. I do. Conklin it is. Dobbs, Zeke, Josh Reynolds. I'd go with Dobbs. Najee Harris or Jeff Wilson? Jeff Wilson. Njoku or Everett, we answered that just a moment ago. We're good to go there. What else we have? I drafted Saquon, Cook, and traded away Hollywood Brown / Hunt for JT. I also... Okay, listen. You're sitting in a pretty powerful position. I'll tell you that much, TP. Ayuk or Palmer? San Francisco should go ahead and then just run the ball. Carolina will be able to throw the entire time. I don't know about Josh Palmer's injury. He may not even be active tomorrow morning. So that's a question that probably will be answered tomorrow morning via the rankings on screen. But it's probably going in the direction of Ayuk, just because I don't know what Palmer's current status is, to be honest. I'd go Lazard over Josh Reynolds. Trade Christian McCaffrey and Isaiah McKenzie for Pierce, Everett, and Dobbs. I don't know what the rest of your team looks like, but I would rather probably have McCaffrey. Eduardo M says Nico Collins worth a stash. I mean, I guess it could be worth, but I mean, you got to be in a really deep league for that to be something that... I would say the only time that Nico Collins would be a relevant fantasy start in a given week is if Brandon Cooks is not active. So if you're just holding it for that kind of handcuff purpose, then sure. But outside of that, I don't think he's ever going to be relevant for fantasy purposes. Trade Jeff Wilson for Godwin? Yes, 1,000%. London or Cooks? Give me Cooks. Jeff Wilson or Marquise Brown? I'll take Marquise Brown this week. Hawkinson, Goddard, or Everett? Give me Goddard. Should I trade Dillon and Everett for Kyler? I have Ertz, I have Hollywood, and I have Jeff Wilson. And who's your quarterback? That's the question. Who are you trying to upgrade from? You know what I mean? Drake London, give me Drake London over Garrett Wilson this week. Goff or Lawrence, give me Lawrence. Eduardo, okay, we already did that. Higbee or Waller, I have Higbee ahead of him, Raymond. Ertz or Pitts, no, just keep Ertz. Just keep Ertz, please. James Robinson or Chris Godwin this week, I like James Robinson this week. Jamal Williams or Pierce, give me Jamal Williams. Drake London or Garrett Wilson, Drake London again. Pierce or Dobbins, give me Pierce. Olave or Gabe Davis, give me Olave. Wilson or Pierce, give me Pierce. Gabe Davis or Juju Smith-Schuster have a better chance of bouncing back. I think Gabe Davis does. Thielen or Waddle with Teddy Bridgewater. Have nightmares about Teddy Bridgewater in Denver. Teddy Bridgewater was okay, but I'd still play Waddle this week. I have Derek Carr and Kirk as my QBs, says Alex. If you're picking one quarterback between the two, I'm playing Kirk Cousins this week, by the way, Alex. Let's see here. Jazz and Friends says Tyler Boyd, Tyler Lockett, or Hunter Renfrow. I play Tyler Lockett this week. Thank you. Corey Davis or Zay Jones? Probably Corey Davis. What else we have? Brandon Cooks over London. Hawkinson over Njoku. Lockett over those two. I'd go Zay Jones over Palmer. I'd go Brady over Rodgers. I'd go Mike Williams. No, actually, if Tyreek Hill is playing, I'm probably just playing him because Tyreek Hill is Tyreek Hill. Kind of hard to sit him. Hall over Jeff Wilson. Brady over Rodgers again. Sanders or Connor. I'd probably go Sanders over Connor. Connor, Pickens, or Dillon. I go Connor. Deontay or Dobbs. I'd go Dobbs. McKinney or Huntley. I'd go Caleb Huntley this week. I actually would. DJ Moore or Josh Reynolds. Give me Josh Reynolds. Olave or Godwin. Curtis Samuel or AJ Brown. AJ Brown. Herbert or Goff. Give me Herbert. Jacobs, Dobbins, Mostert. Pick 2. Give me Jacobs and Dobbins there. Gabe Davis, Breece Hall, or Khalil Herbert. Give me Breece Hall. Under the assumption, of course. No, yeah, give me Breece Hall. That doesn't even matter if Montgomery plays. Wilson or Pierce. Give me Pierce. Alrighty. Again, rest of the season, Wilson or Cousins. As of right now, just give me Cousins. I don't know what to do with I don't know what to do with Russell Wilson. It hurts my soul. Curtis Samuel over Zay Jones there, Skyler. Carr or Goff. That one I will have answered tomorrow morning on stream. 8 a.m. to 10 a.m. Pacific Standard Time. Again, just a reminder, if you guys could, before we end today's stream, if you can click the like button down below, click the thumbs up button, that'd be greatly appreciated by me. Of course, definitely does help out the channel a lot. You may think, hey, what does 2 seconds and clicking the singular button do? It does nothing to you. It helps me a bunch. I greatly appreciate that for those of you who've gone ahead and already done so. Deontay Johnson would be over Pickens this week, in my opinion. I would play Gabe Davis over Josh Reynolds. Actually, in a full PPR, I might not. Now that I'm thinking about it, if McKenzie's active, I'd probably play Josh Reynolds. What's a better stash, Christian Watson or Sky Moore? Right now, probably Sky Moore. But that's mainly because Marquez Valdes-Scantling and Mecole Hardman don't do anything. Garrett Wilson or Christian Kirk? Christian Kirk. Logan, thank you very much. We'll see you tomorrow morning. Thank you very much, Brian. I appreciate it. Connor, Dillon, or Mostert? Connor. DJ Moore or AJ Dillon? At this point, if it's a PPR, I play DJ Moore. If it's a standard or half, I'd go with Dillon. Greatly appreciate. No problem, Jazz. Let's see here. Brady or Mahomes? Give me Mahomes tomorrow. Especially against the Raiders. That would be incredible. Go Stevenson over Penny. Jack's Motivational Hub says, trade Drake London and Chase Edmonds for Jonathan Taylor. Yes. Yes. No question. 100% do it. Andrew James says 8-man PPR. Montgomery if healthy or Sanders. Montgomery if healthy would be over Sanders. Otherwise, if he's not healthy, if it's like Sanders, Hunt, Dillon, Cooks. Okay, so yeah, if he's healthy, I'd play him over Sanders. If the second question is Hunt, Dillon, Cooks, or Hall, I would play Breece Hall. Also, Cooks or Gabe Davis rest of the season. As of right now, I'd probably say, oh man, that's kind of tough to be honest. I want to have hope that Davis could do it, but for right now, we'd go with Brandon Cooks. Keep up the great work. Thank you very much, Andrew James. Dude WTF says, I'm 0-4. We have Cousins. We have this. Okay, I have the trade offer okay, so let's hear. I have a trade offer: Lamb and Waddle for JJ and Devonta Smith, full PPR. So you would be sending Lamb and Waddle for Justin Jefferson and Devonta Smith in a full PPR. Your second wide receiver would be Higgins the rest of the season. You would, man, do I want to make that trade? I think I don't want to make that trade per se. I think I'd much rather have 2 top 12 wide receivers than 1 top 12 wide receiver and a guy that's lower down on the list. I know that JJ's got a lot of high upside, but once Dak comes back, I think Lamb improves. Once Tua comes back, Waddle improves. I think I'm keeping what you have. I know you're 0-4 and you want to make a switch. If you want, I guess that's, it's totally up to you. I think you could probably find just as much success with both options. That's why I'm thinking I'd rather just keep what I have. What else do we have here? Okay, so that was for Andrew James. As for the following question, C. Banger says, Hurts, Russell Wilson as my QBs in a 2 QB league, trade Russ, question mark. You might have to. You might have to. As to what you're going to get, I don't know, but you probably should just go pick up Geno Smith for right now and put him on your bench, just in case. Dude, WTF, we answered. Oh, sorry. So we did. Okay, so the suggestion of Waddle and Lamb was for Dude, WTF. Andrew James, we had told you to play Montgomery if he's healthy, and then play play Hall in the flex, and then Cooks over Gabe Davis rest of the season. Fainsky came in for a final question here. Says, would you trade J.K. Dobbins and Myers for CEH in a 12-team full PPR? I'm okay with that. Yeah, I'm okay with that. That's fine. Waddle or Debo, is that this week? If it's Waddle or Debo this week, I'd rather play Debo. Connor or Dylan or Mostert. Andrew, I've answered this probably like 7 times in a row, but hey, no problem. Let's play Connor this week. James Robinson or Dalvin Cook. I play James Robinson there. Thielen or Samuel, give me Samuel. Roy says, sit 1 half PPR. I need upside. Henry, Fournette, Stevenson. If we're sitting 1, if you answer my other super chat, sorry, about Stafford. Yeah, I think you, okay, let me get to that right now, okay? So really quickly, I would still play Henry and Fournette. As for your question that you asked way before, I'm pretty sure I said do not play Stafford, and I'm pretty sure, if I'm not mistaken, the question was in regards to Stafford and Wentz or something like that. I can confirm this. Yeah, I would play Wentz over Stafford. And you had Geno on waivers. If it was between those 3 options, I'd legitimately pick up and play Geno. Thank you. All right, guys. I do appreciate y'all coming in here, sending in donations, clicking the like button, supporting the channel in that regard. I'll see you guys tomorrow morning, 8 a.m. to 10 a.m. Pacific Standard Time. That's on the East Coast. What is that? 11 a.m. to 1 p.m. ET. So if you guys are interested, come on by. We will have updated rankings on screen like we do every single weekend with updated top 36 running backs, wide receivers, top 16 quarterbacks and tight ends, answering questions in order to help you guys out kick off with Kirchhoff. Until then, I'm going to go ahead and bow out. Thank you, everybody, for watching. And until next time, I'll see you guys. Peace. Tomorrow morning. See ya.